Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is also fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to repeat myself once again. Raila Odinga has cornered William Ruto over the oil scandal. And unless William Ruto is going to change the way he's handling the whole situation, I can assure you, just the same way Anglo-leasing almost brought down Mwai Kibaki and Eurobond almost brought down Uhuru Ruto government, this oil scandal is going to bring William Ruto down because of the casual way they are handling the whole thing. And today I was reading some article which is going to form the basis of this analysis, and I want us to go through it. And in that article it says, 4 East African community countries join Uganda in opposing Kenya oil deal. For me, that's a very serious issue, because we saw how Uganda dealt with the Kenya over the issue of this oil scandal. As a matter of fact, even their parliament changed their laws on how they are importing oil. Now, this is what the article says. Let me just read part of it briefly. Then I'm going to explain to you guys why that development is significant politically speaking. Now, it says, Kenya is likely to lose billions of shillings in oil trade after landlocked East African countries started showing resistance to import their fuel through Kenya. That's serious. That a country like Burundi, a country like Uganda are now saying they are not going to import their fuel via Kenya. That's going to be a huge loss for the Republic of Kenya. I'm just trying to imagine the truck drivers who are always plying this route Kisumu, going all the way to Mombasa from Uganda. I mean, markets like Saga, all those will be dead. Mtituandei, all those will be dead. Those markets are as a result of the truck drivers. Now, let me proceed. It says, Uganda has already resolved to stop importing fuel through Kenya due to the controversial government-to-government deal between the Kenyan government and Gulf countries that has seen fuel prices increase significantly. If you've been following the politics of this country, Raila Odinga released some dossier. And in that dossier, Raila Odinga alleged several things. One of them is that there are middlemen somewhere here who topped up 30 bob per liter of oil. And that's why the cost of fuel went up. And Museveni also stated very clearly that he didn't know that he was not dealing with country to country, he was dealing with the brokers. So significant. So which means the issue of government to government deal, there's something wrong there.
Uganda has announced that it will no longer purchase petroleum products from Kenya because middlemen have inflated prices by up to 59%, imposing too high a cost on consumers. The exact same scenario is prevailing here. The middlemen President Museveni is talking about are the Kenya government officials. I repeat, the middlemen President Museveni is talking about are Kenya government officials. The deal has interrupted supply.
And it proceeds. A Kenyan oil firm CEO speaking to BBC revealed that Rwanda, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan were also considering their oil business dealings with Kenya. Let me assure you, if that's going to happen, it's going to mark the end of Kenya. And Kenyans will not blame themselves. Kenyans will blame the clueless leaders they elected. If anything, by the way, they should blame themselves for electing some of these people. Now, the 4 countries, due to lack of seaport, import most of their petroleum product through Kenya. It has been revealed that the countries are not happy with Kenya government-to-government oil deal, as well as the increased taxes levied on fuel. You know, Kenya has decided to to levy everything. Tax on everything. The information I have is that even the people traveling through Jomo Kenyatta International Airport has actually reduced because of the same problems you are witnessing here. Where you are a traveler, you just carried something, you are harassed, that gadget remains at the port, you can't trace it back. So serious problem. And I don't want to go through it all. And it says the increased taxes and levies imposed through the Finance Act 2023 have made fuel expensive in East African countries importing the product through Kenya. The truth is, when Kenyans increased tax from 8% to 16%, you know, it doesn't matter whether you are in Uganda or what, as long as it's in the port of Mombasa, it's levied. And the impact is being felt all the way to Burundi. So they are saying Tanzania and Sudan are the likely beneficiaries should landlocked East African countries drop the port of Mombasa as the entry point of their petroleum product. Uganda has already indicated it will use Tanzania to keep its reserve fuel stock. Although Sudan is currently embroiled in conflict, which has stalled regional trade, it has 5 major ports that can serve as an alternative to port of Mombasa. Are you getting that? Uganda used to import 90% of its fuel from Kenya, with only 10% from Tanzania, signaling how much Kenya is going to lose because of the controversial oil deal and unfavorable business ecosystem. Additionally, 40% of Kenya's total fuel import find their way to DRC and South Sudan, mostly through Uganda. Now, if this is going to happen, my friends, Kenya is expected to lose a minimum of 15 billion in revenue should Uganda finalize a deal with Tanzania over the importation of fuel. And we are here listening to the Secretary General of UDA, Cleophas Malala, talking things that really don't make sense to Kenyans. We are in a country where the deputy president is just talking. And the truth of the matter is that unless William Ruto is going to manage this situation well, the oil scandal is going to bring him down. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys why personally I think the information that the 4 other countries are joining Uganda is significant, politically speaking. But before you do that, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. Number one, if you ask me, the fact that these 4 countries are also joining Uganda in boycotting Kenyan oil, it vindicates Raila Odinga on the oil issue or the oil scandal. Raila Odinga spoke about this thing. Kenya Kwanza called press conference. They dismissed Raila Odinga. In fact, they were saying that Raila Odinga had some oil, he wanted to do what, he wanted government to do what, you know, those funny things. Then, now, how do you think Kenya Kwanza will now blame these other countries? Will they blame Raila? Will they blame Uhuru? So the focus is now going to shift from Raila Odinga, because, you know, Kenyans have already told them enough of Raila Odinga. Now the focus is now going to be on these 4 other countries. So it's going to vindicate Raila Odinga on whatever he said earlier. Number 2, it also confirms what Raila Odinga stated in his dossier, that there is a cartel that decided to increase or to insert some 30 bob per liter on as a top up. And if that's going to be the case, do you think William Ruto will look at Kenyans in the eye like this? He won't. And the truth of the matter is that because of that dossier which Raila Odinga released, Kenyans are definitely going to witness a reduction on the cost of fuel, because they've been cornered. Uganda is leaving, Burundi is leaving, Tanzania is leaving. So definitely they'll be forced to reduce the cost of fuel. And that's going to be good news, if you ask me, for Kenyans. Number three, it also confirms the biggest fears most Kenyans have about this Kenya Kwanza government, that their policies are all wrong. There is nothing which this government is getting right. I think they are preoccupied by trying to prove Uhuru Kenyatta wrong or trying to undo every other thing Uhuru Kenyatta did. Let's face it. Which Kenya Kwanza policy is working? When they increased tax on almost everything, it is now alleged that Kenyans are no longer driving, so even the revenue they expected to generate has gone down. Kenyans are no longer traveling. Those are facts. Someone was telling me that Fuliza, pay bill, has collapsed. That was one of the Safaricom biggest source of revenue. The pay bill. Revolutionary. Just like that, it has been killed. Because it doesn't make sense to make payment through Mpesa currently because of the taxes. During COVID, Uhuru Kenyatta decided and he negotiated with the mobile providers and it was zero transaction fee. During COVID, when Uhuru government really needed money, zero. If I'm lying, I can swear with that, about that. Uhuru reduced it. So several businesses are collapsing. Whatever they intended, the revenue they wanted, they cannot generate. And lastly, the questions about Kenya foreign policy. Is there a chance that these East African leaders are not embracing Ruto? Because Uhuru Kenyatta would have really managed them. Is it possible that they are not embracing Ruto? Because Ruto is so much preoccupied by pleasing the West. He wants to be the face of East Africa. He's just 1 year old. Museveni has been here. Kagame has been here. All these other guys have been here. So is it possible that these guys are not embracing Ruto? So they also want to frustrate him. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts, by the way, on this matter. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.